Welcome guys back to another video. This video might feel a bit outdated by a few months, but hey, I'm still gonna make it because I set my mind on it. I've planned on making this video for a couple months, and the reason why I'm making it right now is because I feel motivated enough to. So let's get started with it. If you haven't noticed from the title, I'm gonna be talking about pandemics a lot, and since we're in one right now, of course I'm gonna be referring to this one. But since YouTube will demonetize me whenever I say it, probably gonna be referring to it as the virus or maybe the canola virus. I really didn't expect myself to live through two pandemics. I actually didn't even know that 2009 swine flu was a pandemic, and I found out that, even by a few months ago, I found out that was a really big one where so many people got infected. Millions actually got infected and died. I surely didn't expect this one that we're living in to be more serious when I thought we would have better technology and better medication and better just planning, I guess. But of course that does not happen. I'm gonna be giving my 2 cents on it. But first, of course, as the title suggests, I'm gonna be talking about the 2009 swine flu pandemic first. Let me give you the basic scene here. So basically, I was in Korea, 7 to 8 years old. This is 2 years before I moved to Canada, so still naive me. And what do you know? The swine flu just comes out of nowhere, rolls in, and first we call it, well, in Korean we call it pig flu, but the name kind of unraveled and just kind of mutated. Even the name mutated, and we called it the new flu. It was a new kind of flu that we didn't see before, apparently. And I always thought of it as, this new flu that's been going around and killing people, and I didn't know mortality rates or medication and all that back then. So I just knew it was a pretty deadly virus, which people got and people died. And since I didn't know it was a pandemic, I thought it was just a cold kind of gone crazy, and people just, if you get it, I guess it's like a cold and you suddenly die. I thought it was obviously very serious because that's what we were talking about, that's what news were talking about, that's what the whole country was talking about. I must have had symptoms to go to the hospital, or maybe not. I might have been asymptomatic, and my parents could have just taken me and my entire family to the hospital just to kind of, get a grasp of it. Did we have it or did we not? We didn't know if I had it because they said the process of, finding out if I did actually have the virus or not would take several days. I asked my parents if they wanted me to have medication, or if they wanted me to take, any medicine or medication or any vaccines just in case. And keep in mind, it was pretty expensive back then. So it wasn't just like, oh yeah, sure, just give us it and it'll only cost $1. It costed more than that. So it was kind of like a gamble of, sure, we can wait it out and just kind of not use our big sum of money on this medicine, or we will spend that money on the medication just so we're safe. But if it's negative, then I guess it all goes to nowhere. But parents went with the second way because it was much safer, I guess, better safe than sorry. Now, several days passed, and I'm gonna just tell you what happened from my own perspective. Parents told me I didn't have the flu. So I thought, oh, okay, I guess that's pretty neat. But then later on I found out that I actually did have the flu, and my parents actually did tell me this, but they went back and forth like telling me, oh, I do have the flu or I don't have the flu. I think it was, initially it was about me not trying to get worried. It's like, you don't have the flu, so just be calm, don't freak out and stuff, just stay calm. But when they did tell me I did have it, it was kind of, yeah, you should know the truth. And when they just went back and forth, I guess it was like just to confuse me, I guess. Even I wouldn't know if I was sick or not. But in the end, yes, I happened to be sick, and none of my other family members were sick, which was still a miracle. I don't know how that happens. It was a miracle that I was taking medication even before the results came out, several days after I got checked, because apparently a celebrity's son who was diagnosed with the flu didn't take medication. So in their case, their family said, we're gonna wait it out until results actually come out, and then we'll spend the money on the medication, which I'm glad I didn't do, because that didn't end up in a good way. That just didn't work out in the end. So if I didn't take the medication, of course, we have no idea you get a point. You might not be watching this video, and this channel might not have existed. But that's not the point. The theme I gather from this whole ordeal is being safe than sorry. And applying that to the 2020 COVID-19, I just said it, oh Jesus Christ. Kind of setting this on the current events of the pandemic and the virus of nowadays. That theme is nowhere to be found. Of course, Korea is still doing their part. They do have a second wave, a mini one, I think, compared to the United States, bigger one, where we're hitting new records each day. Korea is still doing their part. They're doing social distancing, they're all wearing masks. And in America, I don't want to get political here, but they're not wearing masks. Yes, freedom. I don't know if the First Amendment really plays a big part on wearing masks, but apparently some people do think so. And when Uber said no masks, no rides, people got angry, and I don't know why. It's literally for everyone's safety and for your own good. Why would you want to risk everything just for your own need? That was what I thought after my experience with the 2009 swine flu. And it's kind of crazy how it just was a deja vu of 10 years later, although I don't have the virus, obviously. It kind of shows you how culture kind of plays a big part in responses and stuff, and how this theme of taking care of yourself and others really matters in a situation like this when the second wave has started, basically. That is pretty bad. I don't know what people are thinking when you're just going out, wandering around, just hanging out with people without masks and just infecting people like in Florida or Texas or California, but especially Florida. I don't know what's going through the minds, but it's gonna be very, very bad. And I don't know what's gonna happen or how we're gonna react to it. We don't have a vaccine yet. As I've told you, the Tommy flu for 2009, that was a miracle, I think. It can't happen again. What are the odds that a vaccine that you made many, many years ago kind of is the perfect medicine for the new pandemic that you just encounter? It's impossible. But yeah, I guess it wouldn't be a huge exaggeration to say I almost died in 2009, which has allowed you to watch this video and, me sharing my 2 cents about the 2 pandemics. I can't believe I've lived through 2 pandemics. You're living through a textbook event if you think about it closely, which is not necessarily a good thing, but what can you do? I'm gonna be honest, social distancing matters. Masks matter. I think that's what I gathered from almost dying in 2009. Safety is pretty important, obviously. It might sound like an obvious fact, but people don't really know that. And that's what I'm here to tell y'all about, coming from a person who's almost died and probably a million others who survived, but others not so lucky. It's important, and it shouldn't be neglected, obviously, because it does make a difference in the long term. Being safe and sorry has never been better. And that's all I want to say.